like I'm like vetting out more of the spiritual side of things, and theorizing that there was an original energy in the universe, the Sophia energy, and that it comes down and it fractions off so it can know itself. And so if we look at it from that spiritual perspective, I feel like that also could make sense too, trying to experience itself, information and informing us. I've been thinking about this a lot, how being a human is actually fairly simple, and that everything in our reality is really giving us information about ourselves. Whether it's through triggers or projections or how someone treats you, it's all information about the self. And so that could be that spirit, that source energy, God, whatever you want to call it, Sophia energy, original energy, experiencing itself, learning about itself. So what are your thoughts on it being more from a spiritual perspective?
Yeah, I think the line between spirituality and science and everyday life gets really fuzzy. When we begin, honestly, where do you draw the line between everyday life and spirituality? Where do you draw the line between light and dark? And I'll just tell you, the moment you draw that line, you've fallen into the ancient trap that keeps us stuck and spinning in the false boundaries that we in the past have locked ourselves into. I have friends in the spiritual community that say, I only hang out with people of the light. I only hang out with spiritual people. And I say, that's cool. Where do you draw the line between the people that are spiritual and the ones that are not? And the moment you do that, you're in judgment. And that judgment is what keeps you locked into your deepest fears, and it limits your heart in the world. Because we've heard this, we're all more than the worst thing we've ever done. Every one of us is. And we're all learning. We're all learning. We're on this very steep learning curve that I think has just gotten steeper. And the technology is forcing the learning curve, because we've got to come to terms with who we are and what it means to be human, to know how to answer the questions of what technology do we bring into our lives. There are places where the technology it's already changing what it means to be human. There are some societies, I'll tell you, Japan, the Japanese culture is a beautiful example. They've always been very open to embracing technology, and they've always been on the forefront. And in some ways, they're like the canary in the coal mine, because they have gone places now that we can look and say, do we want to go there? One of the examples of that, and there's scientific papers that are describing this, is that they are replacing intimate human relationships with digital relationships, because they're easier, they're cleaner. You don't have to get tied up in messy conversations. You don't have to get tied up in arguments and disagreements. So they are relationships that are happening online, including sexual relationships that are happening online. Well, remember, use it or lose it. One of the things they're finding in the Japanese culture is that women are losing their ability to conceive. Sperm counts are dropping in men, and the birth rate is now dropped below the mortality rate. People are dying faster than babies are being born. And it's not 100% because of the technology, but the technology and the lifestyle have contributed to these things. Is that where we want to go? And there is a movement, we could have a whole conversation about this, that is called the transhuman movement, that firmly believes that the human carbon-based life and humans are flawed, that sexuality is a distraction, it's a diversion, that we don't need it, and they want to wean us from that so that we're more efficient beings. And this is where a lot of this technology is going. And wean us away, they believe that emotion is our flaw. And so as we become less emotional beings, we become more efficient and better able to solve problems. That's their thinking. I'm pushing back strongly on that. It's the power of human emotion that gives us the ability to self-regulate, regenerate, rejuvenate our biology in a way that no other form of life can, so that we we awaken this soft technology. And hopefully, like I said, have a lot of fun doing it.